Okay, just going to go over some of the basics of how the exams are set out. This is particularly for the 3.12. Um, I've attached them to our lockdown week 3, but they'd normally be under 3.12. I've got an example here. I've got a few different things. For the exams, if we look at the 2017 one, there's 3 documents, and they go in order, I suppose. The resource goes first, and if you right click, if you're coming, get them open in a new tab. And what the resource will look like is simply 3 readings, and this is how you'll get it in the exam. You'll get a booklet and it'll have 3 different readings. They'll usually follow a similar topic. Dogs is the thing for 2017. The next thing you'll get, and you'll get this in the exam, is the actual exam. So again, if we open that, a new tab, and the questions there are lined out, and this is what you do your writing in. So for report 1, you've got usually a couple of pages of questions. The third thing, and this doesn't come till later, but you've got it for all the years up till now, is the assessment scheme. And these are worth looking at because they give us quite a good indication of the thinking required. When you're looking at the assessment scheme, they're a bit word heavy for a start, but what they give is a very wordy version usually of the answer, and there's often more there than you would be expected to write. Often there's sort of several options when you're required to do one, that sort of thing. What's important though is it gives a very clear indication of what they think is achieved, what they think is merit, and what they think is excellence. And so you can look back and get a very clear idea on that in practice. And they'll also tell you, they're marked out of 8, just like the maths externals are all. And so you've got, if you get, they have C for the simple sort of thing, that's achieve level, J, justified thinking, that's sort of merit level. If you get and then if you get a couple of them, you get up into the M5, M6, and the I stands for is the higher level thinking, so the excellence, and that's really the applying and the potential for things to go wrong. So there's quite a bit of info there. In terms of extra things in our folder, I've got this that I just work on each year, and I've still got to do last year's yet. But this document here gives you an idea, and this is a good principle for external exams, and it's a really good principle that flows into university. University is at least as predictable as NCEA. But what this is the various different things we've covered in the topic. Just ignore the bottom row, I think I'll get rid of it. We've just been working on margin of error most recently, confidence intervals, but you'll see the other things that we've covered there as well. And it shows how often they come up, and so most of the things we covered just come up every year, so it's a good paper like that. Some of them come up every second year or so, but so margin of error of a single value comes up quite regularly, and usually about 2 or 3 times, often 2 or 3 times an exam, so you get an idea of what it's worth knowing. You'll notice that the confidence interval for a difference comes up pretty much once every time, and it'll be one of those comparison ones. So we've got quite a lot of information there. It sits there right up till the exam, and we'll but make use of this. The final thing I've got is this, which is the level requirement. This is really about me getting my head around what is what, but it does show what level of thinking gets you up into the merit and excellence. For the margin of error, which we've just been doing, if you can just use rules of thumb and say why it's needed, why that's achieved, interpreting it and answering questions or finding sample size, that sort of thing, merit and correct working interpretation in context, you might get an excellence, but you certainly do when you get a confidence interval for the difference. So all that information is available for you, and we'll do that for each of the 3 externals, and make sure that you make use of all those different documents and get yourself comfortable with them.